Now in its fourth year, the Civic Humanist program at Rice University's Humanities Research Center has enjoyed remarkable growth. The program reaches out to the Houston community by sending Rice faculty from across the humanities to speak at Houston area high schools with student populations typically underrepresented at Rice. These professors give introductory lessons on selected topics in their fields and also give students an opportunity to ask questions about college life.
One of the first things that I noticed immediately after the first two lectures were the number of students that hung around after the lecture was over. They wanted to talk to the professors about very specific and certain things. And when I was listening to the things they were talking about, they wanted to know more of what the lecture was. They wanted to ask very specific questions about, for example, how do they get into that field? Or what kind of jobs are in that field? Or what made them go into that field?
I personally feel like we as faculty members need to be proactive in getting out into communities and sharing with people what we do. And particularly I think with the younger generation of students who will be coming into college, to help them from the very beginning and even before they get here to see the importance of history and the humanities. I think that's the only way that we're going to, in the long term, really make what we do sustainable and highly valued in our broader culture.
For his sort of political philosophies, those are perhaps his best remembered texts. He's also an historian. This is a gentleman who believed that one of the key ways to end racial discrimination in the United States was to help people have a better understanding of one another. He felt that part of the reason why perhaps people engage in forms of racial prejudice is maybe they just don't recognize that everybody's kind of the same.
These professors' talks are often the first time students are exposed to an academic field like linguistics or religious studies. Some of these talks are formatted as traditional lectures, such as How the Bible Came to Be and Everything You Wanted to Know About Language. Others take a more non-traditional approach, such as using images from Life magazine to inspire poetry, or examining Houston's role in the Civil War's Battle of Sabine Pass. These talks allow students the opportunity to engage on a college level with new subject matters before they set foot on a university campus.
We want education not simply for vocational reasons, but to learn how to ask and answer really interesting questions. And I think the leap up into that students can relax and really sort of take a swing at bigger questions. To be really active viewers is also to learn how to be really active writers. And so once they caught the bug in a way, I couldn't stop them from talking.
I never really thought about how, because he would look at a tiny little piece of nothing and just turn it into a piece of poetry, and I thought it was really cool, and it inspired me, because I like poetry a lot, and I went home and wrote about little pictures.
Rice University is ranked 21st in the top 25 institutions attended by HISD graduates, with 221 students matriculating in 2011. The Civic Humanist program was designed to serve as a resource for teachers who are encouraging their students to consider the benefits of college. And in offering this service to the community, we quickly realized that Houston area high school students had just as much to give back to Rice University professors.
So one of the things that I'm working on right now is a book that kind of taps into the knowledge that they have. It turns out that students in these kind of underprivileged areas have been struggling with language issues their whole life, and that makes them more aware of the issues, more aware of the kinds of things that I talk about. So I'm interested now in writing a book that speaks directly to them, saying tap into what you know about language and use that, and don't try to unlearn it and don't try to suppress all that, use it.
And I think it's very valuable. I've never heard of a program like this, and I think it's pivotal for our inner city schools especially, who never think of those better schools because they don't think they can. So I think it's extremely important to keep building those bridges between these top-notch universities and our public inner city schools. That bridge needs to be there.